All right, questions about the report that Crypto.com is going under. Imminent collapse. It was reported on Protos. I guess it percolated. If you're wondering what my thoughts are about that, whether to worry, whether you should be concerned, whether to take all your assets off of Crypto.com, FUD abounds. You know, it's an interesting thing because I think when I heard that they were doing the naming rights to, I can't even remember. I think it was the Staples Center, but somebody will correct me if I'm wrong. Which is just it's a U.S. sports arena. When I heard that, I think I tweeted something like, "Yeah, I remember PSI Net Stadium," which was, so I'm from Baltimore originally, and my football team, the Ravens, they at a certain for like a year or two, their stadium was called PSI Net Stadium. It was a defunct .com company in the .com bubble, and it usually got lots of money. They signed a naming rights deal for what's now Raven Stadium, and then they went under like 2 years later. So that was the first thing that crossed my mind, not because of anything about Crypto.com. I don't know what Crypto.com's financial situation is right now. I can tell you that it wouldn't surprise me to see a few exchanges declare bankruptcy, not collapse, take your funds and just leave, at least not in the US, because if they're properly regulated and they're doing what they're supposed to do under the law in the US, your funds are safe. Your funds should be, they will have your tokens for you. Now, that doesn't mean there can't be a smart contract hat. That doesn't mean there can't be an insider job or some sort of technical problem, some issue. Especially if you go in bankruptcy, they could say, hey, look, your funds are safe, your tokens are there, but we just need time to sort out all the details to make sure everybody gets it back. And then, yeah, I mean, and even worse than that. So I'm not saying your tokens are not at risk at all. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying that I don't know if if they're going to collapse. It's tough times in general for everybody in crypto. It's tough times for me too. Everybody who's deriving any sort of income from crypto. Things are tough. So we're just going to have to see. We're just going to have to see how it goes. Wait and see if you hold. So and two things to close. First, if you hold, I think it's CRO, Chronos token. Just FYI, it's the same deal as Celsius. So they're using the token as basically a way to bridge the gap between the income they make and the rewards they want to give you. So they use the token to basically fill in that gap. Doesn't mean the token's not valuable. Could be very valuable, but it's a loyalty reward program basically. Just like, airlines, instead of giving you money back, they'll give you, or I guess credit cards. Instead of giving you higher money back, they'll give you airline miles. Or frequent flyer mile, or whatever they call it. I don't use that. That's not a perk that I like, but I know it's very popular. It's the same kind of thing. So it's not like, so when people say that, it's like, they're so shady. I can't. No, I mean, it's just when you have something of value that you can offer somebody instead of money, as long as you can justify that value, then you can use that instead of giving discounts of money or other things. That's the whole point. Tons of businesses do that. It just so happens that Crypto.com does it with its token. But that's only one thing. The second thing is anytime you leave your cryptocurrency on an exchange, you're giving it to somebody else. You're giving it to the exchange. So it depends on how comfortable you feel about that, as opposed to taking it into your own custody. That's not necessarily, I mean, for me, having had the time and putting in the effort to learn how to do that and do it safely, yeah, I'll take it off the exchange any day. But it does require a little bit of technical skill. There are some risks. You might lose your private key. You might lose access to your wallets. There are also, I could go down a list. You can Google any number of really helpful websites that can walk you through this a little bit. The bottom line is, what are you comfortable with? I think it's well worth your while, especially now. Transfer cryptocurrency into your own personal wallet. Start to use things like MetaMask. If you're on Solana, I think it's the Phantom wallet. There are other wallets that you can get. I like Atomic Wallet, actually. And practice using these features. Learn. At this time, before the market really starts to collect itself and go up. At the same time, recognize that if it's a US regulated exchange, they should, according to the law, they should have your tokens available for withdrawal on demand. At the same time, it's not yours. You just have to balance all these things and decide what's best for you in terms of your comfort level. Now, how comfortable you feel about doing business with Crypto.com or any exchange, having funds on Crypto.com, using the CRO token as a reward or whatever you want to use it for. All these things, just keep these things in mind and understand that whether it's Crypto.com or anybody else, you could say the same thing at any moment, could go under. I think there's a heightened sense of sensitivity about that because I think it's reasonable to expect that Crypto.com and a lot of these crypto exchanges, they're under a lot of financial pressure. The specific article that I read come from a source that is, it's good that they're raising these negative aspects. They're not necessarily the most well-researched, well, I shouldn't say it. They're well-researched, but presented in a way where sometimes the context, it's missing some context, which can lead you to maybe interpret it the wrong way or interpret it in a spirit that is given, but that may not reflect the actual reality of what's going on. But still, take it under advisement. And it's, I have it right here. It's Protos, Protos. So you can Google Protos. The article title is Crypto.com is in big trouble, but the wordings were there. Take it under advisement, but don't accept it as truth just because somebody published it on the internet. I guess if there are any other questions, feel free to email me anytime at mark@markhelfman.com. Relax and enjoy the ride.